Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Cooldown.tv iRacing series in the Street Stocks, our Thursday night weekly racing. And this is week number 2 at Lernerville Speedway. Big difference from last week to this week is the fact that we do not have a wall all the way around the racetrack, which means the drivers will be falling off the track instead of hitting the wall. It's going to make a big difference for some of these drivers who slide into the wall, like as if it's an everyday occurrence. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and they're going to lose some positions if they fall off the track. Now, they're just finishing off some practice, and it looks like we're going to get started in heat race number 1. Total of 16 cars have entered our second week of racing. And this is going to be a good one once again. Last week, our winner being, I think it was Jeff Rempel, if I remember correctly, and he led pretty much the entire race, looking really clean out there. And we'll hopefully see some multi-grooves on this racetrack tonight. Most certainly will be different than it was last week. We're going to dive right in. And in heat number 1, we got a total of 8 cars, only 2 heats in total. And on the front row is going to be the number 11 of Dave Gerling. Second position outside front row is going to be the number 43 of Gareth Senkow, who's a drag racer in real life, but at the Dirt Oval on iRacing. Won his first heat race last week as well. Thomas Kennedy in the number 3, who's a sprint car driver in real life, will be on the inside second row. And Sean Clausen in the 33 on the outside. On the inside, the number 75 of Nick Leonard. On the outside of him will be the number 88 of Brendan Westover. And in the back row, the number 818 of Derek Robinson and the 001 of Patrick Davis, who races a Wissota Midwest Modified during the summer and in this race tonight. So 8 cars, heat number 1 with a total of 2 heats. We're going to see what happens here as we're going to have an 8-lap heat race in our first set at Lernerville Speedway. Okay. All right, lined up 2 by 2. The number 11 of Dave Gerling looking pretty good in that paint scheme with the drag racer of Gareth Senkow on the outside front row. Pace truck's pulled off. Here we go. Green flag. Three wide. Going into turn number 1. Kennedy and Gerling get together. 3 wide still for first. Going into turn number 3, Kennedy with the early lead, and the 33 sidewise gets into the 88, but we keep it green. Senkow still in the lead, going into 1 and 2. Staying just inside that groove on the outside. Gerling's fallen back to 3rd spot. All 4 are on the outside lane. We're taking a look at Thomas Kennedy. Thomas Kennedy taking a live look into his home with all those wonderful trophies, trying to make a move on first. And Thomas Kennedy looking pretty good there, pretty stable on that wheel. All 4 cars in the top 4 on the outside line. Sliding up, Kennedy pushes the 43 to the top over the embankment. He's going to go sideways, most likely a caution, maybe not. We're going to keep it green for now. Caution is out. Caution's out. We're going to find out what the race director has to say on that decision. Most certainly looked like the number 3 pushed him over the top. There's no wall to keep the drivers in. And we're going to have to see what happened on the instant replay. Taking a look at the replay here, we'll see the number 3 diving low and sliding all the way. Looks like a slide job that went awry as he tried to keep it down. Not sure how close if they hit, but definitely the 43 hard deal there. We're going to find out what happens. Thomas Kennedy's going to go to the back of the pack in heat number 1, causing the first caution of the first race of tonight. We're going to be restarting in a couple more laps here. Looks like Dave Gerling's going to take over here. And we're going to go green. Another in-car with driver of the... using the number 11 of Dave Gerling, using the 3D type thing. I can't remember what that's called offhand. What's normally Oculus Rift is what has been, but there's other brands. And we're green flag. Gerling's in the lead, being able to get it back. Senkow must have went in to repair some damage. Gerling in the lead. Just a couple laps to go. For Dave Gerling. Second is Sean Clausen. Third looks to be the number 001 of Patrick Davis. One lap to go for your leader in the number 11. A little bit high there, but not looking too bad. And your winner coming out of turn number 4 is the number 11 of Dave Gerling, winning heat number 1, second to Clausen, third to Patrick Davis. Good quick restart and a quick finish as well. All right, we're going to move on to heat number 2. And our second and final heat of the night is going to be the number 8 of Tyler Dell on the inside front row. To the outside is the number 99 of Don Ashton. And to the inside of him, the number 23 of Chris Peters. To the outside is the number 14 of Steve Bowman. And on the inside, the number 16 of Brian Dorge. On the outside of him is the number 19 of Max Wozni. And on the back row, last week's winner, the number 12 of Jeff Rempel. And on the outside of him, the number 13 of Cameron Brown. All right, 2 by 2. One more time around, we're going to line them up, make sure that everyone's nice and tight in the pack. And green flag. Tyler Dell to the early lead on the inside. Pushing the number, looks like the number 19's been pushed out on the backstretch. Bowman takes the lead going into turn number 3. Too wide for the lead after crossing the front stretch. Dell slides up, has the lead on the backstretch, but side by side, Bowman on the in. The 4 and the 16 get together. Brian Dorge and Brown, and Bowman and Dell get involved in a little bit of a tangle coming out of turn 4. Bowman and Dell still side by side. Loses a little bit of speed now. The 23 of Chris Peters to the outside, trying to challenge for second. Bowman getting freight trained as Rempel moves into third. Bowman shuffling back into fourth. Rempel all the way to the bottom. He's going to slide all the way up in front of the 23 of Chris Peters, who's going to give him a little kiss on the bumper. Bowman trying whatever he can on the inside. It is not sticking. Rempel now in a solid second position, but is about 6 car lengths behind the leader. Now Bowman slides up into the 4 car towards the back. Top 4 separated by about 6 car lengths each, all on the high side. Caution is out. We'll take a look at the replay. Cameron losing it on his own on the outside. Just about 1 lap to go. 2 laps to go on our next restart here. Tyler Dell in the lead. Jeff Rempel in second. Tyler Dell was a dominant force last season. Pace Truck's going to pull off. Single file restart with just 2 laps to go. Let's see if Rempel in the number 12 can do anything to pass that leader. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. 1 more lap to go for the number 8 of Tyler Dell. Desperate move by the number 12. He might lose it. No, he keeps it straight, but Tyler Dell is going to be your winner of heat number 2. Jeff Rempel second. Chris Peters is going to round out your top 3. All right, that was a quick heat number 2. Both having 1 caution each. And we're going to get straight into the B main. On the front rows, the number 818 of Derek Robinson. Outside of him is going to be the number 16 of Brian Dorge. The number 75 of Nick Lernerville. Inside second row. And on the outside, the number 19 of Max Wozni in the second row outside. On the inside, the number 3 of Thomas Kennedy. And on the outside of him is the number 99 of Don Ashton. And rounding out your bottom 2 will be the number 43 of Gareth Senkow, who was involved in that caution in heat number 1, and Cameron Brown in the number 13, who was involved in the caution in heat number 2. 12 laps is the distance in this one. And we're going to see how this B main goes. Usually the B main goes really well. It's the A mains we've been having a little bit of an issue. But 2 by 2 they're going to start. Total of 8 cars. And this is going to determine the bottom 8 positions for the A main. Thank you once again for joining us on YouTube at Cool Down Video Productions, as well as our Facebook page, and also broadcasting the raw footage from my window on twitch.tv. And thank you to all our viewers on all platforms as the pace truck pulls off and we go into turn number 4, starting green flag of our B main. Ryan Dorge, your early leader in 3 and 4. Sounds like we've had some contact with a couple cars near the back. Green flag still. 818 of Derek Robinson, a little bit of a push, and he gets into the side of the number 19 of Max Wozni. Wozni and Robinson side by side. Oh no, the 19 slides up, gets hit in the bumper by Robinson. Kennedy to the inside of both those cars, slides up, and the right rear quarter panel of the number 3 gets into the 818. Looking back at Thomas Kennedy and his footage of racing with those beautiful trophies in the background, battling it out for 3rd spot with Derek Robinson. Kennedy still on the inside of Robinson, not gaining much traction though. Brian Dorge has pulled out a huge lead, a good 12 to 14 car lengths. Kennedy's moved to the outside and not going to be enough. He cannot make it work. Robinson must have slid back down. Side by side, the 19, 818, and the 3 car. Whoa, the 19 gets sideways, straightens it back out onto the front stretch. A little bit of a slip up by the 19. The 3 car right on his back bumper now. Brian Dorge is checked out of this race. Kennedy all over the back bumper of the number 19, not going to be able to make a move unless he does a slide job to the bottom, but we know that has not worked out well for other drivers. Oh, to the outside, Kennedy. With just a few laps to go, he's going to battle side by side, get some momentum on the outside of 1 and 2, and he's going to move up a position. Looking really good. The number 3 of Thomas Kennedy. Thomas Kennedy in second, but it's going to be too little too late as Brian Dorge is just checked out of this race, and I do not see anyone unless something happens. Like him going sideways at the bottom of turn 1 and 2. No, he holds it. He's looking good. Once again. Coming up to 2 laps to go. For Brian Dorge. Brian Dorge. 1 lap to go for the 16. It's the Brian Dorge show as he comes into turn number 3 and 4 to win our B main. Second goes to Thomas Kennedy. Third to Cameron Brown, who started at the back. And Gareth Senkow, who also started at the back, rounding out the top 4. We're going to move very quickly into our A main, and rounding out the top is going to be the number 23 of Chris Peters. On the outside, the 001 of Pat Davis. Inside second row, last week's winner, the number 12 of Jeff Rempel. To the outside him, the number 33 of Sean Clausen. And the outside third row is the number 8 of Tyler Dell. The outside him is the number 11 of Dave Gerling. And on the next row inside is the number 88 of Brendan Westover. To the outside is the number 14 of Steve Bowman. And the inside, your B main winner is the number 16 of Brian George. On the outside of Brian is the number 3 of Thomas Kennedy. And on the inside is Cameron Brown and the number 13. To the outside of Cameron's the number 43 of Gareth Senkow and the number 818 of Derek Robinson, starting in the 6th row. Inside, I think so, 6th row inside, yeah. On the outside, or sorry, 7th row, outside 7th row is the number 75 of Nick Lenert and the number 99 of Don Ashton and Max Wozni in the 19, rounding out your field in the A main of the CoolDown.tv Street Stock iRacing Series. Thanks once again for joining us on all our platforms, including the raw footage on Twitch TV and our full broadcast at YouTube and Facebook. Much appreciated. And thank you to these drivers for putting on a great show so far tonight. This race is going to be a total of 40 minutes or 30 laps. I know some of you might say 40 minutes is a lot of time, but we have gone over before. We're hoping that's not the case here. I think these drivers are slowly learning more and more. I expect this one to be a really good race as we get ready to go green for your A main at Lernerville Speedway. Boy, there are cars all over this racetrack. Looking good so far as we complete lap number 1. Your early leaders, the number 23 of Chris Peters. Everyone seems to have funneled towards the top of the track except the number 16 of Brian George. But it is all Peters so far. Patrick Davis, who started second, still in second, but here comes the number 12 of Jeff Rempel. Does a slide job. Davis dives back underneath. No harm, no foul there. Side by side in the second spot as Bowman decides to duck underneath as well in front of Brian George. Nice and tacky tonight, the racetrack is. Sideways is the number 11 of Gerling to the inside wall. We'll see what happened there if the caution comes out. Rempel's moved into second. Davis still in third, but being challenged by Tyler Dell. Caution is out. Caution out for an incident with the number 11. And we'll see what happened there. Taking a look at the replay, we'll see. Looks like the 88 and the 11 may have got together. Back it up a little bit. Let's take another look. Super slow-mo. And we'll see if maybe the 88 gave him a bit of a nudge. Hard to tell. That looks like netcode right there. Hard to tell. We'll see what happens. Brendan Westover's going to get end of longest line penalty for causing that caution. So, first caution of this race. We are 5 laps in already. Your leader is the number 23 of Chris Peters, but we have last week's winner right in that second spot. Jeff Rempel, who's been a super truck driver in real life and has been involved at all forms of racing in his career. Ran an excellent race at Eldora last week, led pretty much every single lap. And here he is in the second position, having a shot at winning back-to-back. Pace trucks pulled off. Here we go. Chris Peters going to lead him out of turn number 4. Green flag. Good start for him. Not so good for Patrick Davis. He's going to shuffle back into the 4th position. Rempel to the bottom. Rempel to the inside. He's going to slide up over top of the Chris Peters. Nice and clean. Peters back down underneath with the crossover. And the number 23, we got a caution. Caution is out. I didn't see it. I was watching an amazing race at the front. going to try this again. Track is looking really good for moisture. And we'll see what happened in this instant replay. Derek, who do we got? We'll see what happens. I don't think it might have been a... '88 and the '99 got together. Thanks for the follow there, Jason. All right, Chris Peters is going to be the leader once again. We're going to line them back up 2 by 2. So we had 2 drivers that got together. No caution due to the incident being a no fault. Or 2 faults, or whatever. Race director made a decision. We're going to have another race here as the pace truck pulls off. Good start by the number 23 of Chris Peters. Right on the back bumpers, Rempel. They're going to both dive towards the inside middle. And Rempel's going to come out in front on the backstretch, but Peters is not done with this yet. He's going to ride the outside and get into the back of the 12. Rempel's going to get too high into the wall. It could be a 3-wide battle here. Peters is not going to give up that lead. That Rempel did to him, and Patrick Davis is going to be the odd one out. We're going to have to see what happens here, because whoa. Let's take a look. Checking out the instant replay. It's too close to call, even if it was in full action. Who knows? I most certainly am glad I'm not making these decisions. But it did not work out in the same way for the 23. Chris Peters, your leader, is going to go all the way to the back for returning a slide job favor. A lot like hockey. It's the retaliator that might get the one in the penalty box. Not a good deal for them. So guess who's going to inherit the lead? That's Tyler Dell now. We had a good 5-lap run, and now we've had a couple cautions in just 3 laps. Almost a third of the way done this race. We're lined back up 2 by 2. Some bumper damage on the 12 over that incident. Here we go. Green flag. Whoa. The number 3 of Kennedy falls off the top of the track. He's going to slip into the wall. Looks like Davis involved on the backstretch or on the front stretch wall. Not good for those drivers who are going to restart near the front. This is going to give Rempel the space that he needs. George to the inside into second spot. Battling it out with Bowman. Bowman looking really good right now in second. Generally, we see that car fade as the night goes on. We'll see what happens lap after lap. George battling for third position with Clausen. His car is sounding so nice right now. He's got that thing tuned in once again. George is going to settle into 4th spot on the high line. On board with Brian George, who's currently in 4th. George gets into the back bumper of the number 33. Bowman not gaining anything on the leader. Clausen in really good position in 3rd. He didn't have much luck last week, but looking really solid here on the outside, making sure that the number 16 can't make a move. High side of the track is starting to dry out a little bit. We might see some change as we cross the start-finish line to continue on the second half of this race. We are halfway done this race already. Rempel looking quite comfortable in the lead. No challengers. Bowman looking good in 2nd. George is to the inside. Trying to make the pass on the 33. Figures there might be a little bit of grip down there. Not enough to make a move, and he's going to have to battle it out with Senkow in the number 43. Rempel still your leader. Bowman in 2nd. Clausen 3rd. Senkow and George rounding out your top 5 and 6. Here comes Brennan Westover passing to get past George to get into the 5th position. A lot of separation between 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Then there's a couple cars jumbled up, and then a little bit more space after that. Coming onto lap traffic at the number 12. Catching up to the 75 and eventually the 8. The 8 has a fair amount of damage. Tyler Dell was looking really good early on, but caught in that incident with the number 23 of Chris Peters. Rempel clears the number 8 quite easily. Looks like the number 8 has too much damage on the front right to have any power left. Down to 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go for your leader in the number 12 of Jeff Rempel, the 14 in 2nd. Lots of space now between the top 2 and 3rd, 4th, and 5th are jumbled together quite a bit, but not much for jostling of position. High line once again very, very fast at this track, just like it was at Eldora. Oh no, Bowman off the top of the speedway, off the top of turn number 3 and 4. He's going to lose positions. He's going to have a challenge from 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Bowman lucky enough to have such a lead over 3rd that he might recover enough, but that's good news for Jeff Rempel as he now has a full straightaway lead, hoping that he doesn't run into anybody spinning out in front of him. Max Wozni about to get lapped by the number 12 is going sideways. He's in a slick spot of the racetrack. Bowman still in 2nd, but oh, there goes the 88 of Westover. Westover the top. Senkow over the top. Hits the front stretch wall hard. That berm is starting to give up on the outside. These drivers are going to have to slow down. Now, Senkow sideways. Gets into the 23 and the 88 a bit, but they keep it going straight. With that berm disappearing on the outside, these drivers are going to have to adjust. We got lap traffic all over the place. Rempel's going to have to deal with some drivers in front of him. Let's see if he can keep it on the surface. We got a jumble of cars. Bowman, Clausen, and Dorge, second, third, and fourth. Oh yeah, it's getting... Bowman's off the top of the track again. Bowman's going to lose positions this time. Caution is out. Caution is out. What a great run. Only a couple laps to go. This could change everything with just a couple laps to go. Rempel probably did not want to see this caution on just a couple laps to go. And the pace truck is going to slow them up. And we're going to take another look at this. Patrick Davis fell off the track a couple times, kept it going. But caution is out. And Patrick Davis is going to go to the back of the field. With 3 laps to go, Jeff Rempel is going to have a couple challengers. Does it mean anything? Who knows? Rempel's looked so good and so fast this week and last week. But that was a really good run. For these drivers. Jeff Rempel started third. Let's take a look at some of our hard chargers. Brian Dorge started 9th. He's in 3rd right now. Pace truck's pulled off. Here we go. Green flag for Jeff Rempel. He dives to the bottom just to cover his base into turn number 1. Clausen is second. Here comes Westover diving to the bottom. There is not much moisture at the middle of the racetrack. Rempel's already pulled away by a few car lengths. Riding that right rear, right on the edge of the top of the racetrack. One slip up could be it all. Here comes Dorge. He's going to dive to the inside into second spot. Gets into the left front of Clausen, staying in second. Dorge into second spot. Coming into turn number 3 and 4, your winner, side by side for second and third. Jeff Rempel is going to win back-to-back. Kennedy Bowman involved at the line, not too sure who crossed first. But Dorge with a last-second move, last lap move, gets into the second position over Clausen. We're going to talk to your top 3 drivers in just a few moments. But it's all Jeff Rempel, once again, who started third, winning this race back-to-back for Jeff Rempel. Dorge second, Clausen third, Westover in fourth. Good deal for Westover, who was struggling halfway through the race. And we'll let Jeff Rempel do his on-track celebrations. Explode that engine trying to get a burnout on a dirt track. That doesn't happen every day, that's for sure. So we've moved him into... There he is. He's done. There's nothing left of that street stock. All right. Well, we got our top 3 drivers. Let's see how the race was from their perspective. Sean, 3rd place tonight. Really good on you to see you in 3rd. We don't see you here very often. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, it's finally good to be in this part of the show. Haven't finished top 3 before, so it's a pretty cool deal. It was good to run some green flag laps and just get some good flow into it, and a nice clean race. So a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Does it feel kind of like you're privileged right now?
Yeah. I don't think that I deserve to be up here on this one. This is one of my worst tracks, I usually feel, but hey, I'll take it.
Absolutely. Who would you like to thank?
A big shout out to our sponsors: Leisure Travel Vans, Van City RV, Chad's Auto, Q8 and truck service.
All right, John. Well, thanks so much. And I'm sure we will see you next week. I mean, you got to get really excited now that you were third this time. Could be a winner next week.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Thanks so much. Brian George, um, does your bravery precedes you because what a last lap move to get the runner up position tonight. Walk us through the race for you and how you saw it.
Oh, I kind of started midfield, and I was just trying to knock off cars as I could, and I got lucky a couple times, and some of them went off the top of the track and gave me a couple spots. And then coming down to those last laps, I was following Sean for a while ahead of that caution, and I got a bit held up, and then lost some track position, gained it back, and then threw that move in 1 and 2, and I I didn't quite clear him, so I tried to get out of it. We made contact, but I came out ahead. So.
Absolutely. Did the moisture early on in the track really help you out to make those moves? I mean, you started ninth, finishing second, or did you feel you were able to do more as the track dried out?
I felt like I could run a faster, more consistent line as it dried out, and as the field got spread out, that made it a bit easier. I was on the inside of that start and running the inside. You make it work as much as you can, but it's tricky when you're not on the fast line up top. So I just tried to stay clean and stay out of the mess.
Who would you like to thank?
I'll just thank you guys for putting this on and taking the time out of your day to let us run this and broadcast it. Thanks to you guys.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your participation. And now we're going to go to, well, someone who is quite familiar with a podium finish at the top. And that is the number 12 of Jeff Rempel. Jeff, you had your work cut out for you a little bit more this time than last time, not being able to, I guess, really make a quicker move. You know what? I don't even know what I want to say. You just say how it went for you.
That was good. Just some lanes opened up at the right time, and it was good hard racing up at the front. There's some clean slide jobs and some crossovers, and that was fun for a bit there. And then the green
Were,
flag laps were awesome. Like we finally got some good runs in there, and got to do some racing.
did you get a little nervous at all when the caution came out with 3 to go, or are you just like, yeah, I'm so good, I don't need to worry about it?
No, I was not happy.
I'm sure it was, oh, come on, really?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it went.
But you're able to get another win. The track seemed similar in terms of the high line both last week and this week, with the exception of the walls. As that track started to really slick out, did you have to make a ton of adjustment coming through the corners on the high side? Because we did see Steve Bowman, for example, fell off the track a couple times towards the end. Did it feel like it was fading on you as well?
Yeah, it's really hard. You gotta like this track. You really gotta race the racetrack and follow. You know, when it's getting slicker, you gotta slow down a little bit or enter a little bit different and try to keep the car straighter so you don't dip a wheel. And especially with the street stocks, if you dip a wheel, you're over. So
Hmm. Who
yeah,
would you like?
just had to be careful.
Who would you like to thank?
You, Anthony, and Chris, and everybody else tonight that raced. It was a great race, and thanks for putting us on. And we'll keep doing it.
Sounds good. Well, there's your winner once again, the number 12 of Jeff Rempel. Thank you so much to all our viewers from all platforms, including twitch.tv, YouTube, and Facebook. And we hope to see you next week, same time, same place, on the cooldown.tv Street Stock iRacing series. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll see you next Thursday.